and welcome to Life with Jane. This week I'm going to be talking about all sorts of things that have been happening this last week. I'm going to tell you what's going to be happening this week in my videos on Wednesday and on Friday, which I know quite a few look forward to seeing, and just a few other sort of ideas and things that have come to my head of maybe things to do in the future. But as always, I look forward to your input, your comments. I do enjoy reading all your comments. There's a few of you that have been with me on my journey of crafting for many years. And as I said, I've got over 1,000 videos all about crafting and paper crafting. So I'm trying to do things a little bit differently. And yes, we're doing some crafting. So last week we did the money wallet, which was very popular. This week we are going to be doing more on food, and there's a haul. So this week I have to look at my notes because otherwise I can't remember it all. So the video on Wednesday is going to be a January sales shopping haul. So I went to a few of our local shops and bought some January sale bargains. So I'm going to show you those. There is one item that I bought which I think has probably sold out already. I did try and get some just yesterday, and in the local one they'd sold out completely because it was on a really good sale. It wasn't necessarily a January sale, but it was an incredible sale, and I will show you what I've actually made with it without giving you too much away. But that's going to be on Wednesday, and I will show you what I've actually made with it probably the following week, because I'm in the throes of stitching it up and doing those sorts of things anyway, so it gives you a little bit of a hint, but I'm not going to tell you because I want you to watch the video on Wednesday and see the haul. Foodie Friday this week is going to be more with the apples. Do you remember when I did the food shop haul? I bought some sweet treat things, and they've lasted a long time. So I used the last of the apples up in an apple, almond and pecan cake. Absolutely delicious, and it's a tray bake. So you make it in a tray, and what I've done is I have cut the slices in, or I've cut it in quarters. So I have frozen the other pieces so I can have a quarter at a time, which gives me, 3 or 4 slices, which I have one an evening. So that lasts me a few days. So the whole cake would not have would have lasted me too long. So I like to freeze it, and it's a beautiful one for freezing. So another lovely recipe for Friday, and this recipe was actually given to me by a colleague where I volunteer. As I said to you, I volunteer at a local charity shop, so that's where I work, and she also volunteers there, and she brought one in before Christmas for everybody to eat. And it was so delicious, I said to her, "Oh, can you bring me in the recipe?" So she brought me in the recipe, and it's the first time of trying it. So there's something that I probably wouldn't do, but there's certainly, it was absolutely delicious. So that's my Friday one. So, stay tuned and tune in on Friday. All my videos, so Wednesday and Friday's videos, will come out at 7 p.m. UK time. So wherever you are, just sort of, remember what time. And if you get the chance to like them and leave a comment, that would be fantastic. I like to have the comments because we're part of a community. I've always said some of the people here have been with me, as I say, for many years, and I class them as friends. A couple of them we write to each other. We send sort of happy mail to each other, and there's a couple of people that are like that, and it's lovely. I class them as my friends. They're not in this country. You know, they're abroad, so it's lovely. And I've got a couple of ladies on here that I meet weekly anyway, because they're part of the group at the Craft Cafe that I go to once a week. So again, that's nice. But there's a lot of you on there that, as I say, and I know not everybody doesn't have the time to comment or say something, but if you do, if you've enjoyed something, then please let me know, because I do enjoy the comments and things. So what else have I got to say this week? Oh, weather. Well, the weather has been absolutely horrendous for some people. I am so lucky that I live in the southeast of England, and the weather here is probably the mildest that it is in the UK. So we have weather warnings now. So we have yellow warnings, amber warnings and red warnings. I think we've only ever had one red warning in the whole of the UK. But we do get yellow warnings quite often now, and we haven't had an amber warning in the southeast, but they had over this weekend that's just gone by, and in fact up until Monday lunchtime. So for 2-3 days there has been amber warnings for snow, sleet and ice. Now the snow has been several 6, 8, 10 inches or so, which is quite a lot. I had a flurry of snow on Saturday evening. Started about 6-7 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock, lasted 2 or 3 hours. It was enough for my grandchildren, went whizzing out into the garden. My son let me know and said they're out there scraping up the snow, trying to make a snowman out of it. But by the morning, by the time I walked my dog up in the park, it had all disappeared. Oh, and I put a short up. I don't do very many shorts, but I have a mobile phone which is on a different, you can have Apple and you can have Android. Now my phone is an Android, and my iPad and what I use for doing most of my videos are Apple. And the two, it's like chalk and cheese, they're not compatible with each other. So I did this one on my phone and I just uploaded it as a short because it was only 47 seconds. So if you haven't had a chance to see that, that shows how beautiful the sunrise was a few mornings ago. It was frosty, frosty, frosty cold, freezing cold. But the sunrise was absolutely spectacular. That's why it was so cold, because it was very clear. And it was before the snow arrived, but it was absolutely beautiful. So if you haven't had a chance to see that, have a look at that, because it's only 47 seconds long. So it's one that you can, you know, watch a few times and just see what a beautiful place I'm so blessed to live in. So also, with it being the Christmas 2 weeks, as it were, a lot of people finish Christmas Eve and then don't go back to work until today, which is the 6th of January. So both of my sons have had that time off. So my sons, my grandchildren go back to school today. So it's been absolutely lovely to be able to spend some time with them. My son came round and did some work and things for me on the house that I needed doing. I had some pipe work that needed, guttering pipe work that goes under the ground that needed doing outside. I'd had a handyman who came round to do some bits and pieces, but who was desperately slow. Because like everything, they charge by the hour. So, you know, it was something that they certainly got their day's worth of money out of it. And my son came round and fixed the leak in this pipe that was still leaking, and did it in about 10 minutes. Literally unscrewed one part, screwed in another part, put pea shingle and stuff all the way down round this pipe. And put it back in again, covered it up with the slate and things that were in the garden, and it looks absolutely perfect. So I'm so grateful to have a son who's a builder carpenter who could basically build my house from the bottom up. And so he can come round and do jobs when he's not working so hard. Normally he works 6, sometimes 7 days a week, and he leaves the house at 5 o'clock in the morning and isn't home until 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So, you know, he works so hard that it was lovely for him to be able to come round during this 2-week break at Christmas time. So I was very, very lucky, you know, that he was able to do that. So, you know, that was fantastic. Now, what else have I been doing? Now, this is something that on Christmas Day, I went round to my eldest son, who's a builder carpenter, and he, my daughter-in-law, did lovely scallops in clamshells as a starter before our Christmas lunch. And so this is the clamshell. Now, if you look at that, you can see the clamshell has got this beautiful sunflower on the inside. There's gold around the edge, and the back I've painted with gold as well. So you can see it's a clamshell, and you can see from here the beautiful sunflower. Now, I know that one of my ladies knows exactly how I did this, because she actually, in the Christmas box that she sent me, she'd actually done one, which I have upstairs with some jewellery inside. But for those that don't, I thought I would show you at some point how to do this. If you know how to do it, and it's something that you're interested in, do let me know, and I will put a video up in the next couple of weeks and show you how to make that. So you can see it's got a lovely shine to it. It's got gold around the edges, and it's quite a pretty thing. So that's something to come up in the future. Now, what else? Oh yes, something that is a thing for all of us ladies out there, and it is to dye or not to dye, as in DYE, hair dye. Now, I have been, since I was probably in my late teens, I have always had highlights in my hair, and have always had blonde highlights in my hair for as long as I can remember. So as I say, 16, 18 probably I started, and I'm in my mid-60s now. And over the last 6 months or so, I decided that I wasn't going to have highlights anymore. I thought, you know what, your skin changes, your look changes, and I know some people will always dye their hair and have box hair dyes, go to the hairdressers and have their hair dyed. But I thought, you know what, I would actually like to see what it's like without any dye in it at all. And it is, I've got some little bits of grey coming through, so that, not that you can probably see that well, but I've got some grey coming through at the top. I've still got an awful lot of my natural brown colour, and these little bits here, that's the leftover, so you can see on there, that's the leftover of the blonde that's left. So I'm growing it out. I've had it cut with some layers in, because the layers help to take out the little blonde bits, so you don't get that sort of what they call the skunk thing, which I haven't, because I've still got quite a lot of natural brown hair left, and my hair's quite a nice sort of brown colour, but you can see it up at the top. I hope you can see. I've got a few bits of grey coming in, but they actually look like natural highlights. So I'm really quite pleased with that, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to colour my hair anymore. I'm not going to either do it as a box colour, I'm not going to do it, go to the hairdresser and have highlights anymore, or low lights. I'm just going to see what's going to happen. So over the next 6 months to a year or so, you will see that maybe it will go greyer, I don't know. It's not that grey now, which is quite nice. I've got little bits of it, and as I say, these bits have still got to come out. Most of this down here, you can see is naturally sort of brown anyway, my natural hair colour. And you can see I've got some grey bits coming at the top. But I think that that's rather nice. So, opinions. What do you do? Do you dye your hair? Do you not dye your hair? Do you have it natural? Are you somebody who is a white, beautiful white hair? Love to have that. I know I'm always going to be what they call salt and pepper. So I'm going to have dark bits and I'm going to have white bits because it's salt and pepper. My mother was salt and pepper. My grandmother was salt and pepper. So I don't think that I will be anything different. I can't see I will, but it'll be interesting to see. So I'm quite pleased with that. I'm quite pleased at the way it's sort of growing out. But as I say, I would be interested to see on what you do, what you think. You know, are you naturally coloured? Do you dye your hair? The other thing as well is makeup. Now, I tend to be very natural. So I don't put anything on my face apart from moisturiser. So I don't have foundations and things like that. I never have done. I do put a bit of lipstick on, but it tends to be a fairly neutrally coloured lipstick. So it's not, gives a little bit of a shine, as you can probably see, a little bit of a shine, but nothing too much. And I just have a little bit of eyeliner just underneath my eyes. I don't put anything else on. I don't have mascara. And that's me, just very natural. It takes me 5 minutes in the morning, and that's basically my skincare routine. I know that having watched lots of videos, there's lots of videos out there of makeup and how people make themselves up, and they look so different to how they are naturally. And I tend to be, I quite like the natural look and being natural. You know, you can't, what did my mother used to have a saying, mutton dressed as lamb. And it was a thing that, you know, if you are a certain age, and I'm not going to say how the age of everybody, I know I've got people of all sorts of ages, but when you get to a certain age, you're not going to be wearing the same sort of clothes that you were wearing when you were a teenager or in your 20s. Your style and things change. And I have never ever worn a lot of makeup. Never's been me, just not my style. However, I know that maybe a lot of you out there do, and it'd be interesting to see what you do, whether you have full foundation and full eye makeup, whether you, you know, have your hair done every week, whether you have your hair done, you know, once every 6 weeks, what you do. I'd be really interested to hear. So I think that's going to be it for this week. I don't want it to go on too long with me rabbiting. I know I could rabbit on for ages and hours, but we've all got busy lives and we've all got things to do. So I try and keep it fairly short, and look forward to seeing you on Wednesday and Friday for the videos this week. And I will see you back here next Monday for my next weekly vlog. So, as always, please stay safe and well, please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.